The night my daughter was born, I learned the difference between family and strangers. I was 39 weeks pregnant, folding tiny onesies on a creaky kitchen counter in a house that never felt like home. The contractions started soft, like ripples, but grew sharp and relentless. My hands shook, not from the pain, but from the dread of asking for help in a place where I was a guest at best, a burden at worst. I'd lost everything 6 weeks earlier when a drunk driver stole my fiancé, David, along with our dreams and my job. Broke and grieving, I'd crawled back to my parents' house, not out of love, but necessity. They took me in with sighs, not embraces. My younger brother Ethan still lived there, basking in his golden child glow, chasing TikTok fame with no job and endless ambition. I was the shadow, the screw-up who dared to grieve too loudly. I gripped the counter as a contraction hit, my breath hitching. "Mom," I called down the dim hallway. No answer. The TV blared some true crime show Ethan loved, his laughter cutting through the noise. "Mom, please," I tried again, louder. My father appeared, his face sour, like I'd interrupted a sermon. "It's midnight, Sarah," he growled. "Ethan's filming a reaction video." I clutched my belly. "I'm in labor. I need the hospital." He scoffed. "Can't you wait? You always pick the worst timing." Another contraction buckled my knees. I leaned against the wall, tears burning. "It's happening now," I gasped. Ethan stormed out, phone in hand, glaring. "Seriously? I'm live streaming, Sarah. This is my shot with a sponsor. You're so selfish." My mother peeked from the den, wineglass in hand, then vanished. "Please," I begged, sinking to the floor. My father's face hardened. "You've drained us enough. Now you're sabotaging Ethan's future?" He grabbed my arm, yanking me toward the door. I stumbled, pain searing my spine. "Dad, stop." But he didn't. He dragged me across the rug, my scalp burning as he gripped my hair. "You're not ruining this night," he snarled. The front door swung open, cold air biting my skin. "Go have your kid somewhere else," he spat, shoving me onto the porch. I collapsed, sobbing, clutching my belly as another contraction hit. Ethan smirked from the doorway. "Always the victim, huh?" My mother's silhouette flickered at the window, then disappeared behind the blinds. The door slammed shut, leaving me alone in the dark, labor pains ripping through me. A neighbor's car pulled into the driveway next door. A woman, Lisa, a paramedic finishing her shift, rushed over. "Oh my God, are you okay?" she gasped, kneeling beside me. I could only nod, tears streaming. She bundled me into her car, cranked the heat, and called the hospital, her voice steady but shaking with anger. "I saw what he did," she whispered. "You didn't deserve that." That night, my daughter, Hope, was born healthy, with David's wide eyes. I named her for the chance I never had in that house. The hospital kept us 4 nights, not for medical reasons, but because I pleaded for time. I wasn't ready to face a world where my own family left me to scream in the cold. Lisa visited daily, bringing granola bars and swaddling Hope when my hands trembled. When I whispered, "Was it my fault?" she cupped my face and said, "No one who asks that question deserves the pain they got." Her words were a lifeline. When discharged, I didn't call my parents or text Ethan. I gave Lisa's address to the hospital and walked with Hope to a shelter she recommended. It was small, with faded walls, but it offered a cot, diapers, and kindness. A woman there, escaping her own scars, looked at Hope and said, "She's gonna rewrite your story." I cried then, not from fear, but from possibility. Weeks later, a letter arrived, my mother's sharp handwriting like a blade. Asterisk, "You're shaming us, disappearing like this. Come back, or we'll clear your things." Asterisk, no mention of Hope. Just demands. More letters followed, then voicemails. "My father, this grudge is immature. Ethan, you tanked my sponsorship deal with your stunt." The worst came last, my mother's voice cold, you had no right to make a mess on our porch. We could have called the police. I stood in the shelter's hallway, phone trembling in my hand. A bunkmate, a survivor of her own hell, asked, "You okay?" I nodded, but something shifted. I wasn't crying anymore. I was planning. Over the next year, I rebuilt. I worked graveyard shifts at a diner, hope strapped to my chest while I scrubbed plates. I trudged through rain to community college classes, studying coding from library books. A tech apprenticeship with daycare changed everything. I posted one photo on Hope's first birthday, us at a playground, no caption. Ethan messaged instantly, still playing martyr? Pathetic. I didn't respond. Their watching meant they were waiting for me to fail. I wouldn't give them that. By Hope's second birthday, we had a tiny apartment. Her crayon art covered the fridge. I was paying bills without panic. And I was documenting every voicemail, every letter, every cruel word. Not for court or clout, but for the day they'd need me. I wanted my silence to be their echo. That day came 3 years later. I was at my tech job, watching Hope stack blocks in the break room, when my phone rang. My father's voice, urgent, "Ethan's in the hospital. A breakdown. Your mother's a wreck. They need you." Silence. "He kept saying your name," he added, softer. I felt nothing. I hung up. A text followed, "Ethan's number, Sarah, I see it now. I'm sorry. Please come." For a moment, I wavered. Then I remembered his smirk, my mother's blinds snapping shut, the porch's cold wood. I replied, "You said I ruined everything." "I won't ruin your recovery." I powered off my phone. Months later, an email from my mother, a long, teary plea, blaming stress, claiming they tried. Tucked in was a request, "We're selling the house. The buyer wants a family record signed. Your birth certificate's in the office." The house. Where I bled, begged, broke. I went, alone, in a gray coat, no smile. They weren't ready for me. My mother's lips trembled, my father stood rigid, Ethan looked hollow. The house felt small, their power smaller. I took my certificate from its frame and slipped in a photo Ethan had once posted online, him grinning on the porch as I lay crumpled, in labor, behind him. "This is the memory," I said, hanging it back. "Let the new owners know what this house holds." Their faces froze. I left before they could speak. That night, I took Hope for ice cream. She giggled, counting sprinkles like stars. Her laughter was my legacy. Their silence, my victory. It sings louder than their cruelty ever could. Please subscribe and comment with where you're watching from.